Let me tell you something powerful. Exhaustion is not your enemy, it's evidence that you're on the right path. When you feel tired, when your body says, enough, and your mind whispers, quit, that's the exact moment when your purpose is being tested. The tiredness is not a sign to stop, it's a signal that you're close to something greater than you can see right now. You cannot discover strength in comfort. You cannot unlock destiny in ease. Every dream you carry demands a price, and fatigue is often the first receipt you receive for the cost of greatness. When you're tired, remember this: purpose doesn't negotiate with feelings. Your emotions may say, slow down, but destiny says, keep pressing. The moment you feel empty, that's when your true power begins to reveal itself. You see, tiredness is temporary, but quitting is permanent. Fatigue fades, but regret echoes for a lifetime. What you're feeling is not a wall, it's a doorway. The doorway to another level, another version of you that only perseverance can unveil. Tiredness is not a sign to stop, it's proof that you're growing closer to your purpose. When exhaustion begins to settle in, it's not the universe telling you to give up, it's evidence that you are operating beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. The human body and spirit were never meant to remain in places of ease. Growth demands pressure, and progress demands persistence. The weariness you feel is not the result of failure, but the residue of forward motion. You are pushing against resistance, and resistance always shows up when you're moving in the right direction. Those who never feel tired are usually those who never attempt anything greater than what's convenient. Tiredness, therefore, is not weakness, it's confirmation that you're stretching towards something significant. Every seed that pushes through the soil must first fight through darkness, friction, and pressure before it ever sees the light. You, too, are that seed. The tension, the fatigue, and the moments you question your strength are all part of the germination of purpose. Each time you press on when you feel like stopping, you build endurance, and endurance becomes the foundation of destiny. When you feel tired, you're actually encountering the process that shapes character. Greatness is never born in rest, it's forged in the furnace of struggle. You cannot be refined without heat, and you cannot mature without moments of exhaustion. It's in these seasons that your true potential is revealed, the potential that comfort could never expose. Tiredness also carries a silent message. It reminds you that you are human, but at the same time, it reveals the divine strength within you. When you reach the edge of your human energy, that's where spiritual energy begins to rise. It's when your natural strength ends that supernatural endurance begins. The tired soul learns dependence, and dependency leads to revelation. You begin to discover that what sustains you is not the power of your body, but the purpose planted within you. That purpose becomes your inner fuel, burning brighter than fatigue, louder than doubt, and stronger than fear. Many people misinterpret exhaustion as a sign of defeat, but the truth is, it's a sign of engagement. You are engaged in the battle that matters most. The fatigue is a reminder that you're invested, that your energy is being spent on something meaningful. When you're tired, don't curse the exhaustion, acknowledge it as evidence of your investment. The more tired you become in pursuit of purpose, the closer you draw to the harvest your effort is cultivating. The soil of destiny always demands the sweat of perseverance. Nothing lasting is birthed without labor, and labor is always tiring. But that tiredness has meaning. It's proof that you're becoming who you were created to be. Every visionary, every leader, every dreamer who has walked the path of impact has known this feeling. They all reached moments of fatigue where stopping seemed easier than continuing. Yet those who understood the language of tiredness knew it was not a signal of failure, it was an announcement that transformation was happening within them. Purpose doesn't negotiate with feelings, keep moving even when strength fades. Feelings are fleeting, but purpose is permanent. There will be days when motivation disappears, when your emotions tell you that you are not enough, and when the weight of your journey feels too heavy to carry. In those moments, you must remember that purpose was never meant to be guided by how you feel. If you only move when you feel inspired, you'll never reach the fullness of what you were created to do. Purpose requires discipline when excitement dies, faith when energy fades, and persistence when comfort is gone. Your emotions are indicators, but they should never be your leaders. They shift with the seasons, but purpose remains anchored beyond the reach of circumstance. When your strength begins to fade, that's when the test of purpose becomes real. It's easy to act on vision when everything flows smoothly, but when the path becomes rough and your resources feel depleted, your commitment is revealed. True purpose doesn't retreat when you feel drained. It stands firm, demanding that you rise above what your senses say and act according to what your spirit knows. Feelings whisper that you can't go further, but purpose speaks louder, it says you must. Every meaningful destiny requires moments where your emotions scream, stop, but your conviction insists, continue. The greatness within you doesn't respond to comfort, it responds to conviction. Purpose is not emotional, it is eternal. It doesn't bend to the ups and downs of daily life because it was born before your feelings ever existed. When your energy runs low, it's purpose that gives you direction when your emotions can't. It reminds you that what you carry inside is bigger than how tired you feel, bigger than how discouraged you may seem, and bigger than any obstacle you face. Purpose calls you to operate on principle, not preference. Preference seeks ease, principle seeks fulfillment. You can't depend on how you feel to finish what destiny started. Feelings fade with fatigue, but purpose strengthens through perseverance. There are seasons when you'll wake up feeling empty, unmotivated, unsure, and yet your assignment remains the same. That's when you must walk by purpose, not perception. You might not see the progress you expected, but that doesn't mean your effort is wasted. Purpose is like the roots of a tree, it works in silence, beneath the surface, hidden from sight but producing unseen strength. Every time you choose to keep moving despite what you feel, those roots go deeper. You build resilience that emotions can't shake. You develop a strength that motivation alone can't give. Your purpose doesn't ask if you're tired, if you're ready, or if you feel good about continuing. It simply asks for obedience. It's not about feeling capable, it's about remaining committed. The people who fulfill destiny are not those who never feel weak. They are the ones who move forward in weakness, trusting that strength will come as they go. Fatigue is temporary, but quitting creates lifelong regret. The moments when exhaustion begins to cloud your vision and your energy feels completely drained are the very moments that define the trajectory of your life. Fatigue whispers that you've done enough, that slowing down is justified, that no one would blame you if you stopped. But quitting is not relief, it's surrender. The tiredness you feel today will pass, but the memory of giving up will echo through every season that follows. Pain fades with time, but regret grows louder with every missed opportunity. You can rest and recover, but once you quit, the momentum that was building within you dies, and restarting becomes harder than ever. The difference between those who finish strong and those who fade away is not strength, it's endurance. There will always be a moment in your journey where fatigue convinces you that your effort is wasted. It's in that moment you must remember that every process of transformation requires struggle. A runner doesn't stop when muscles ache because they know pain is part of progress. The same principle applies to destiny. Every purpose worth pursuing will demand a portion of your strength, your time, your comfort, and sometimes your tears. Fatigue is simply the body's reminder that you are engaged in something that matters. It's a temporary signal, not a permanent condition. What's temporary can be endured, but regret cannot be undone. Regret carries the weight of what could have been, and that weight lasts a lifetime. Those who quit never know how close they were to victory. Often, the greatest breakthroughs appear right after the deepest weariness. It's when everything in you says, "I can't," that the opportunity for greatness arrives. The path of purpose is always uphill, and fatigue is the natural resistance you feel while climbing higher. If you stop climbing because you're tired, you forfeit the view that was waiting for you at the top. You lose sight of what your struggle was preparing you for. Fatigue will lie to you and make you believe you're finished when in truth, you're being refined. It's a temporary phase that builds endurance, resilience, and inner strength that only perseverance can produce. Quitting, on the other hand, rewrites your story. It takes the power out of your hands and leaves you wondering what might have happened if you had just kept going a little longer. It's not failure that haunts people, it's the knowledge that they didn't give their all. You may fail and still rise again, but once you quit, you silence the possibility of redemption. The pain of fatigue passes, but the pain of regret lingers, shaping your future decisions with fear and hesitation. When you push through fatigue, you create memory and momentum. When you quit, you create doubt and distance between who you are and who you were meant to become. Your why must be stronger than your weariness. Every great pursuit begins with a reason, a vision that burns so deeply it becomes the anchor for your soul when everything else feels uncertain. The why is not just motivation, it's your foundation. It's the fuel that keeps you standing when strength fades, the compass that keeps you aligned when emotions fluctuate, and the reminder that purpose is worth the price of perseverance. When you are tired, when your efforts seem invisible, and when the results feel distant, it's your why that keeps you from collapsing under the weight of the journey. Without a strong reason, fatigue becomes the loudest voice in your mind. But when your why is clear, even exhaustion cannot silence it. The strength of your reason determines the endurance of your spirit. Many people begin with excitement but lose momentum because they never defined their why. They depend on feelings to sustain them, but feelings fade while purpose endures. Your why is the root system beneath your dream. It's what holds you steady when the storms of life rage against your progress. When everything feels overwhelming, you return to that deep conviction, that internal reminder of why you started. It's not the applause, the recognition, or the rewards that keep you moving, it's the conviction that what you're doing matters. The person who knows their why can walk through fire and still not lose focus. They can face fatigue, setbacks, and disappointment and still move forward because their mission is greater than their comfort. Your why gives meaning to your suffering. It transforms exhaustion into investment and pain into purpose. When you understand the reason behind your struggle, the struggle becomes sacred. It no longer feels like punishment, it feels like preparation. Every sacrifice begins to make sense when it's attached to something meaningful. You start to realize that the tired nights, the unseen effort, and the long waits are all deposits into a future you deeply believe in. The why keeps your vision alive when progress is invisible. It's the inner voice that reminds you that every ounce of effort is building something eternal, even if you can't see it yet. The world often celebrates the finishers but forgets that every finisher survived seasons of weariness because they were anchored by a strong why. It's not talent or opportunity that keeps people standing, it's purpose. Purpose doesn't make the journey easier, but it makes it meaningful. When your why is clear, your focus becomes unshakable. You no longer make decisions based on comfort, you make them based on calling. Your body may grow tired, but your spirit will not break because your purpose gives you a reason to rise again. You can rest, but you cannot retreat, because the reason you began still burns inside you. Your why gives you power when motivation runs dry. It reminds you that your effort is not in vain, that your struggle has significance, and that your weariness is only temporary compared to the lasting impact of your mission. Pressure is the process that prepares you for greater territory. Every stage of growth comes with a level of pressure that tests your capacity, your patience, and your endurance. Pressure is not designed to destroy you but to develop you. It stretches your limits and forces you to operate beyond what's comfortable. Without pressure, potential remains dormant. The weight you feel in moments of struggle is the same force shaping you into someone capable of carrying the greatness you've been praying for. The process of preparation is never painless, and the journey to expansion always comes with tension. Diamonds are created under pressure, and destinies are refined the same way. The very thing you want to escape is often the tool being used to elevate you. When pressure comes, it reveals what's within you. Anyone can perform well when conditions are easy, but it's the moments of intense challenge that expose your true strength. The pressure you face is proof that you're being prepared for something bigger. Every test you endure expands your capacity for the next level. The obstacles are not meant to block you, they are meant to build you. You cannot step into greater responsibility or influence without first proving you can handle the weight of resistance. Pressure shapes character, humbles ego, and awakens hidden strength. It brings out the best in those who refuse to give in. The process often feels unfair because the pressure doesn't announce its purpose. It shows up uninvited, disguised as disappointment, delay, or difficulty. You may question why certain doors close or why the timing feels off, but pressure is often heaven's way of perfecting what's not yet ready. You are being conditioned, not punished. When you feel surrounded by stress, it's because your environment is shifting to match your potential. Just as a seed must break before it can grow, you too must be pressed before expansion happens. The cracks you feel are not signs of weakness but signs that new capacity is being created within you. Many people run from pressure because it's uncomfortable, but the difference between those who fulfill their calling and those who don't is how they handle the seasons of strain. Pressure exposes pretenders but promotes the prepared. If you can stay faithful when the pressure mounts, you prove you're ready to manage greater opportunities. Every promotion in life comes with added weight, and the only way to carry it without collapse is to first endure the preparation. The pressure you feel now is building the muscles of perseverance you'll need later. It's teaching you focus, discipline, and emotional resilience. Pressure refines your vision and purifies your motives. It strips away distractions and teaches you what truly matters. It's through pressure that passion is tested, priorities are revealed, and endurance is birthed. The very challenges that feel like opposition are shaping you for expansion. When you stop fearing pressure and start embracing it, you begin to understand that it's not against you, it's working for you, molding you into someone prepared for greater territory. Greatness belongs to those who keep going, even when they're tired. The true measure of a person is not how well they perform when life feels easy, but how steadfast they remain when every part of them wants to give up. The ones who reach the peak of their purpose are not necessarily the strongest or the most gifted, they are the ones who refuse to stop climbing. When fatigue settles in and obstacles multiply, persistence becomes the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. Every step taken in exhaustion is a declaration that your vision is greater than your pain. Greatness is not a moment of triumph, it is a lifestyle of endurance. It is built in the dark hours when no one applauds, when effort feels invisible, and when progress seems painfully slow. Those who keep going in those moments develop a strength that cannot be shaken by circumstance. When you keep going despite weariness, something powerful happens inside you. You begin to move from mere motivation to conviction. Motivation is emotional, conviction is spiritual. Motivation fades when results don't come quickly, but conviction anchors you even when nothing seems to work. That's where greatness begins, in the space between persistence and pain, in the refusal to let fatigue dictate your future. Every time you take another step when your strength is gone, you are expanding your inner capacity. You are teaching yourself that endurance is greater than emotion and that faith is stronger than fatigue. The ones who achieve greatness understand that quitting is not an option because they see beyond the temporary discomfort of now. They have learned to view exhaustion as part of the journey rather than an interruption to it. They realize that even tired progress is still progress, and slow movement forward is better than standing still. Every great builder, leader, and visionary has walked through moments of deep exhaustion, yet their decision to keep moving became the foundation of their legacy. Greatness is not about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about continuing to show up when your energy is gone and trusting that purpose will sustain what strength cannot. The path to greatness is paved with perseverance. There will be days when the load feels too heavy and the dream feels too distant, but every moment of resistance strengthens your ability to carry what you once thought was impossible. When you refuse to stop, even in weakness, you prove that your faith is real. The struggle refines you, and the consistency defines you. Tiredness may visit you, but it cannot defeat you unless you surrender. Every drop of effort you give while weary builds a foundation that no failure can shake. Greatness does not arrive suddenly. It grows through the quiet commitment of those who keep walking through the storm. The journey will test your patience, challenge your belief, and stretch your endurance, but every step taken in persistence is a step closer to fulfillment. Those who keep going, even tired, eventually stand where others gave up, because they understood that greatness is earned not in comfort, but in endurance.